You know what? There's not really a lot that I can say for this intro that I didn't already say for my honorable mentions video intro, but I will apologise profusely for any albums in that video that you felt should have made this main list. Just because the albums are where they are doesn't mean that I love the honorable mentions any less. And it also doesn't mean that I love the first 10 albums of this list more than the future ones or the previous ones. The fact is, there was just that much good music in 2019 that these lists had to be made. Speaking of which, let's get to this list, shall we? This is number 20 to 11 of my 20 favourite albums of 2019. 20. 30 if you include the honourable mentions. Now, let's get this bread and feed it to a duck, maybe. Number 20, Bad Religion, Age of Unreason. Well, I may as well start the list proper by saying that I am so sorry for putting Bad Religion this low. But hey, at least they're on the main list at all, and in a year where a lot of the older veterans of punk really needed to show up, boy did Bad Religion do that. Age of Unreason shows the band at their usual standard of kick-ass awesome punk, being a very good mix of their usual subject matter, but also adding more pertinent topics that became more prevalent as 2019 went on and are now sadly bleeding into 2020. But still, this album is a fantastic punk record from one of punk's best bands ever, regardless of country, so... Number 19, As I Lay Dying, Shaped by Fire. Speaking of apologising for bands, As I Lay Dying. I don't apologise for their placement on the list, but rather putting them on here at all, as the actions of their lead singer all that time ago still leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. I do understand that, trust me, but Tim got a lot better, and evidently the band did too. Shaped by Fire is an accurate title, and the album showcases the hell that the band went through. Some people may claim that this one is undeserving of the praise that it's getting, but to be fair, it's not my fault that this album is as good as it is, because it just is. Please listen to it and give it a fair shake. I'm aware it's sort of not for everybody, but at the same time, it is just that fantastic. So, yeah. Number 18, Wolves at the Gate, Eclipse. I really hate putting these guys this low. I love Wolves at the Gate, and in my opinion, they're one of the most consistent bands in terms of improvements. Eclipse shows that beautifully. To be fair, these guys rarely make mistakes, and I've discussed before exactly how much people should be listening to them in the past, but if you want to listen to any Wolves at the Gate album to get you into them, I would recommend starting with this one. Absolutely their best work, with emotional impacts, great performances, and some of the most underrated lyrics ever, and they continue to grow and get better, and I really hope that continues on the next album as well. Number 17, Brutus Nest. I did honourably mention in my honourable mentions video that the Butcherettes weren't the only female-fronted band to be on any of these lists, and thus we reached Brutus, a band who isn't just new to me, but to most people. I really hope that changes, because Nest is a beautifully produced slice of post-rock, which makes it unique as you don't see female singers in alternative music embrace that particular genre. What's more unique is that the lead singer is also the drummer for the band, which is actually kind of cool. The album itself obviously has tight instrumental work, quality sound design, and quite a lot of it sits with you despite its short length. It doesn't last long, but it does stay with you. And this is another one that I thought about more over time, and is definitely worth checking out. Number 16, Employed to Serve, Eternal Forward Motion. Let's keep the train of female-led bands trucking along, shall we? Employed to Serve, first of all, that's a great band name. Secondly, I wasn't really expecting this style of hardcore from them. Unlike Brutus Nest, which I saw other people praising, I didn't know anything at all going into Eternal Forward Motion, which I'm fine with because this album was quite a pleasant surprise. Chock full of fantastic breakdowns, a brilliant lead performance by vocalist Justine Jones, really good production, and again, the kick-ass band name are what solidified this album as a favourite of the year in my opinion, even if it is this low, but still super enjoyable, super fun. Number 15, Fire from the Gods, American Sun. I have admitted this before, but when I first tried listening to Fire from the Gods, I wasn't as into them, but then I heard the first couple of singles from this, and I got curious as to what the album itself would bring. Then I listened to this album in full, and now I want to invent a time machine so that I can bitch slap my past self for being such an idiot. American Sun shows a rising band continue to grow and mature with smart lyrics, slick performances, great melodies, and some damn good guest spots here and there too. If any of you slept on these guys like I did, then you should also listen to this album so that you can realise how wrong you are, much like I was. Number 14, Callister Boys, Die on Mars. Wait, what was it that I said earlier about Employed to Serve being a great band name? I also said in the Honorable Mentions video that Prince Dad in the Hyena was an interesting name too, right? But I don't think any band name has made me just laugh as much as Callister Boys has, which is a big subversion of how I thought their music would sound, because this album is one hell of a debut. It's one of the most unique albums I've ever heard, being the right balance of weird and complex without hurting my brain too much, and showing good balance, songwriting, and some pretty cool tricks are being pulled out the back too, so this one is definitely worth listening to. It's a bit weird for some people, but besides that, it's just absolutely fantastic. Number 13, Blood Youth, Starve. Blood Youth are a band I heard of mostly because one of their former guitarists is now in Neck Deep. So naturally, I went into this album expecting Blood Youth to sound at least close to neck deep, and they don't, which is good. Blood Youth are a band currently riding the wave of this new metal boom that's been doing so well so far. But one thing I like is how lovingly this album references the bands that inspired, well, Blood Youth as a band. It's got grit and guts, but it's not without its heart either, and their lead vocalist can absolutely switch on a dime. Despite the album being named Starve, you can tell that the band had their cake and ate it with this one, and it does leave you a bit hungry for more when you listen to it. I know, I don't normally do that, but this album's quite good. So, yeah. Number 12, Sum 41, Order and Decline. After quite an array of newer bands to me, how about we go to a band that's been around for a long time now? Sum 41 have come back in a huge way and it really shows. They tried this newer, heavier style with 13 voices, and I'm glad that they continued it with Order and Decline because they're finally nailing it down to a T, in my opinion. Honestly, Derek Quigley has never sounded better, and his lyrics have improved a lot as well. The band tackle more serious issues with a punkier style, and thanks to the hard work that they put in and the nice production techniques, it all pans out well for them. So, this is definitely one worth seeking out. And one seeking out too, why not? And number 11, Periphery, with Periphery 4, Hail Stan. To be honest, it was a three-way tie between this and the previous two albums as to what would take the top spot of the halfway mark. And I get that this isn't the overall number one, but damn it, I couldn't not include the album on the list itself. First, the title makes me laugh my fat ass off. Secondly, and more importantly, the album is classic Periphery, in that the style changes like the waves. For an album as long as it is, it's not boring for a single second. It keeps you on your toes in a good way. The band add new layers to their style whilst not letting up on what makes them them. There's brilliant production, fantastic songwriting, and it's just really, really good, so listen to it. Yeah, do that. Anyway, that about does it for this list, for this half of the list. I'm not quite sure how to go about that. Point is, next time is the last 10 of the list from number 10 all the way to number 1. As always, well, hopefully that'll come out tomorrow. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye. I'm tired.